Thyagu Valliappa, the president of BCIC and the executive director of Sameera Valliappa Group. It's a pleasure to have you with us. Well, there's so much being spoken about women's empowerment.
Sure.
Does that make sense to the chamber and to the businesses? How do you see, a career, the growth of women and their success moving forward?
Certainly, I think we as a chamber believe that women matter as much as any other member do, because what really is a change factor is we don't like to divide them into men and women. I think it's more, the businesses today has to be more on basis a selection process of a caliber or a character, or a company. When you recruit a person, you of course you do have selected areas where you're looking at only men or only women, but then when you look at some of the areas where women can do things, phenomenal. I mean, in the last 2-3 years, I think women have made us proud. As a matter of fact, in sports and different areas of businesses and the banks today, if you really see, the key banks are headed by women, ministers, of course, many of them. And what really is the fact that I wouldn't say it's empowerment. I mean, it's just the fact that the time has come that we as a society give importance to all sections of the sex, in terms of men, women, children. I think it's very, very important that we give importance to everybody at level playing field. And taking this forward, certainly there is going to be a lot of opportunities coming more and more for women.
Oh, there's so much been spoken about gender equality. Do you feel that should be taken into consideration, or should women be on a similar competitive landscape and be judged on their capabilities and their ease of interaction and getting work done?
See, as I said earlier, some of the areas are very, very particular to efficiency and deliverables. Not that a man cannot deliver as a lady can, but then there are a lot of areas where a lady can do a lot better, easier deliveries. And there are a lot of spaces where you compare the two, and those are kind of spaces which you would select the best candidate. Taking it further, some of the areas where women have to be involved is very, very thing, but you shouldn't have reservations in terms of percentages, because it really doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way in terms of not only women versus men. It doesn't work that way with caste. It doesn't work that way with color. I think you shouldn't have rationing for this kind of a space, because what really happens is, as a head of a company or a head of an organization will always look at what is best for him or her or the organization. So at the end of the day, you choose the best person. It could be an all-member women's team, or it could be an all-member men's team, or it could be a mix between a man and a few men and a few women. But at the end of the day, it's the performance which matters, and it's the kind of projection which matters. So that's why I think it's a mix, which I would say. I wouldn't get into numbers, as I said. So I think, putting it in a nutshell, it's the blend that you create. Of course, not that the blend should be only men. That's certainly no. It should be a mix between both men and women, and it should be a level playing field where both of them have the same kind of parameters. And I'm sure in time to come, as you see in the West, a lot of women would actually start taking over men's jobs, and I don't see it very far away, because I see Indian women are easily more capable than most of the westernized women, and that is certainly something which we've seen in India. And with the education system throwing up much more women over the last 10-12 years, going in for higher studies, going in for very, very open businesses, and we always kind of put women into a kind of a category that thing. So I think that should stop. I mean, from the industry point of view, that should stop. I think you shouldn't make a personal category comments on any lady or any kind of group or a space. So I think it's more important that we have accept them very equally in terms of business and workplace.
Wonderful. And a final message to the women out there in the business community. What would you like to convey?
See, the business community, certainly I would say that we need a lot more women in the business community. As a matter of fact, it's the services community which is doing a lot of women getting involved. But in real business and entrepreneurship, maybe incubators, the startups, though we've seen a lot of these startups, maybe very few women are taking initiatives in that. So there's a huge opportunity for the girls to grow today. I would say girls, because from the college level, they could use various formats of the central government today, maybe the incubator space, or maybe the skilling space, or maybe the technology space, which is all available for. That's where the benefits of the government is very good, both central as well as the state. There is certain funds available for each of the entrepreneurs. If it's an all women team, there's special benefits. So I think these are things that I think a chamber like us can really bring out to the public and focus. And I'm happy that the women's wing or women's team at the Bangalore Chamber, the women's committee has taken many programs in these lines, and I'm happy that we've had more than 120 women actually attend one of our programs, and I was happy to be there as well during the beginning of my tenure. And even the golf tournament that we organized, which has been well spoken about across the country, and the 7th year this year, we made sure that at least we had 10 women play the golf tournament. It is a business golf tournament, and we had 10 women play out of 110, so that's 10%. So there's no reservation, but then eventually it worked out in such a way that 10 of them played. So I think it's what we can give them as an opportunity, and bring it out as an opportunity which can be projected to them. And I think it's up to the women to take it up and make the best use of it.
Wonderful. Thyagu Valliappa, it's a pleasure, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.